welcome everyone. Today we have our second literature lesson, The Sound of Music. So this lesson is divided into two parts. The first part is about Evelyn Glennie listens to sound without hearing it. So in this video we'll be seeing only the first part. Before we move into the lesson, let's just see a short video and just recollect and see if you know this famous personality. From the clipping that you had just seen, were you able to identify who this famous personality is? Yes, it's Evelyn Glennie, and in this lesson we are going to learn about her. So just as you saw the title seems to be very interesting, right? The author says, so the author is Deborah. She says that Glennie could listen to sounds without hearing it. Now, we all would be wondering, and of course, we are confused. How can one listen to sound when you can't hear? So, this is something we will have to discover as to how Evelyn Glennie was able to listen to sound although she could not hear. This is a short introduction about Evelyn Glennie. Today, Evelyn Glennie is the only classical percussionist in the world of music who has made a solo concert of beating, crashing, and banging objects. She has been awarded a long string of awards, including a 1988 Grammy and 15 honorary doctorates. Glennie was born in 1965, was raised on a farm near Aberdeen, Scotland, where she took piano lessons and played the harmonica and the clarinet. The main characters that we would be seeing in this lesson is Evelyn Glennie, Isabel Glennie, who is the mother of Evelyn, Ron Forbes, who is a percussionist, James Blades, who is the master of percussionist, and Anne Richlin and handicapped people. So let's get started with this lesson. So this is the first paragraph, and in this paragraph we see the scene is set up in a train platform, and it is an underground area, and there is a huge rush at the platform, and there are people pushing each other to get away. And among this crowd there is a small thin girl. Do you know who's that girl? Yes, it is Evelyn. Evelyn is standing at the railway platform waiting for the train. And just as she feels the vibrations of the approaching train, she realizes that the train is about to come, and she gets nervous and excited. Now this train is about to take Evelyn to London. She is going to London to learn music as she has got admission in the Royal Academy of Music. But right now, Evelyn is standing waiting for the train in Scotland, as Evelyn belongs to Scotland. And Scotland is a country in Europe, and life in Scotland is not as fast as it is in London. London has a very fast life. It is urban, whereas Scotland has farms and countryside. So that is why Evelyn was so nervous as she was leaving from Scotland to London. And she is excited because she is doing something that she always dreamt of. Now, Evelyn is 17 years of age. She is a teenager and she is fresh from Scottish farm. As Evelyn is from Scotland, which has more of farms and countryside, she has not seen a very fast life. And that was the reason for Evelyn to be so nervous. Slowly, she started losing the power of hearing, and one day she was absolutely deaf. Isabel Glennie, so that is the name of Evelyn's mother, she recollects one incident when Evelyn was 8 years old. She says that Evelyn was waiting for her turn to play the piano, but when her name was called out, she did not respond. And her mother realized that Evelyn did not respond to her name, which means she did not hear her name being called out. As Evelyn lost a sense of hearing gradually, in the beginning when she could hear partially, she managed to hide the disability from her friends and also from her teachers. When Evelyn was 11 years, her marks had started deteriorating, and the headmistress of the school requested Evelyn's parents to take her to the doctor. And when the doctor had checked upon Evelyn, he found out that Evelyn had lost the sense of hearing. The doctor advised Evelyn's parents that they should get hearing aids for her. He also suggested that Evelyn should be sent to school for the deaf children. When Evelyn discovered that she could not hear and that she would be sent to school for deaf children, that was the time she was not as good as normal children. Her world became colorless. It turned black. Now, what does this mean? Everything suddenly looked black. It means that all of a sudden you get such a bad news. You get some news that you did not expect. And in return, you see blackness all around you. That is how Evelyn responded to this news. This shows Evelyn had determination. Although Evelyn got such a shocking news, still she was determined and she did not want to give up. As Evelyn was passionate about music, this news also did not break her. She was determined to live life like a normal person and follow her interest in music. One day, Evelyn saw a girl playing the xylophone. She wanted to play it too. Now, on one hand, Evelyn's teacher discouraged her because they knew that she could not hear and hearing was an important part of music. But Ron Forbes, so this is Ron Forbes. So you see Evelyn along with a teacher. He saw that Evelyn was very passionate about music, and so he decided something. Ron Forbes thought that he would teach Evelyn to feel music. He took two large drums and he tuned them to different notes. Drums are musical instruments and he tuned them. He tuned each drum to different notes. So the sound produced by the drums was different. So it was distinct. Both the drums made different sounds. And then he told Evelyn. He said that don't try to listen through your ears. He said that try to sense it. Try to feel the music some other way. The middle of your body is called the waist. Now, as Ron had tuned both the drums to different notes, the upper part of Evelyn's body above the waist could feel the higher notes of the drum, and the lower part of her body, the part down from the waist, could feel the lower notes of the drum. This is how Evelyn can listen to sound although she could not hear. She can sense different notes in different parts of her body. Ron Forbes taught Evelyn to respond to different sounds through different parts of her body, and the body parts responded to different sounds, and that is how she could identify the sounds and the different vibrations. Now, once she could identify the sounds and vibration, the hurdle had been overcome and Evelyn's career went upward as she had determination to become famous, a very great musician, and also did a lot of hard work. So once Evelyn overcame the hurdle, she started sensing the different sounds through the different parts of her body, and she came up in her career. So Evelyn toured the United Kingdom and performed with the youth orchestra. By the time Evelyn reached the age of 16, she decided to make music her life. Evelyn gave an audition for the admission to the Royal Academy of Music, and her score was the highest in the history of the Academy. No other person had scored such a high score as Evelyn did. So initially, Evelyn performed in a group, and as she got well in her music, she got confident and she started performing alone. She had achieved all the top awards by the time she had completed a 3-year course at the Royal Academy of Music. If anyone says that Evelyn has done something great, she does not acknowledge that. She is very humble and very down to earth. Evelyn says that two important things for success are hard work and aim. She says that if you work hard and if you have an aim, a target which you have to achieve, then you will definitely achieve it. So Evelyn also achieved a goal, and she worked hard, and she had an aim to become the topmost, the most famous, the most sought after musician of the world. And she did that. She gained mastery of almost 1000 musical instruments, and she is the most popular multi-percussionist of the world. She has a very busy schedule. She has programs and concerts all over the world. When you watch Evelyn work or perform so effortlessly, although she cannot hear, you get very curious because Evelyn can identify the slightest, the minutest sound made by the musical instruments. Now, the writer Deborah took Evelyn's interview, which lasted for 2 hours, and Deborah says that Evelyn never missed a single word that she spoke. Evelyn says that those men who have long, huge, bushy beards give, give her a lot of trouble. Why do they give her trouble? Because when they speak, she cannot see their lip movement as their lips are covered with the bushy beards. Evelyn says that she does not only see the lip movement of the person's face to make out what the person is speaking, she says the whole face, that means the entire expression of the face of the speaker, makes Evelyn identify or know what the person is saying. And she also adds the expression of the eyes that help Evelyn to make out what the person sitting in front of her is saying. The writer says that Evelyn's speech is flawless. Flawless means something that without any mistake. And she has a Scottish accent. Evelyn says that she can speak clearly because she had learned the language. She studied till the age of 11, till the time she could hear. But after becoming deaf, Evelyn also learned 2 new languages. She, she has learned French and basic Japanese. So One wonders that how could she learn these two new languages in spite of her disabilities. When Evelyn plays the xylophone, she uses sticks and she could sense the vibration of the sound produced by the xylophone passing through her, through the sticks up into her fingertips. So when Evelyn plays the drum, she leans towards the drum and she can feel the echo flowing into her body. Now Evelyn is a delight to hear. She gives very good solo performances, and in the year 1991 she was presented with this award, Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of the Year award for performing a solo. Now James Blades is a master percussionist, and his words were the ones that we read before we started reading the chapter. According to James, God took away Evelyn's hearing ability, but in return he gave her a strong power of sensing sounds, which enabled her to become a great musician. Evelyn is very hardworking and she does not stop working. Now, to be at par with those people who can hear, who are classical musicians, Evelyn works very hard. Evelyn says that the reward she gets for her artwork are huge and big. Evelyn does charity also. She gives free concerts in hospitals and prisons. She also takes classes for young musicians, for those children who want to learn music. Evelyn is an inspiration for all. She is an ideal Anne Richland who belongs to the Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children, says that Evelyn is an inspiration for those children who cannot hear. And when they get to know Evelyn's story, they feel that they can accomplish everything. They can fulfill all their dreams. Evelyn Glennie has achieved so much in life that those people who are double her age have also not achieved those things, that much of popularity and those many awards as Evelyn has done. Evelyn has also brought a percussion to the front of an orchestra and she has demonstrated. So, what is an orchestra? Orchestra is a group of people who are playing different musical instruments and generally the percussion instruments. So, what are the percussion instruments? Instruments like drums and xylophone and many more. So, out of these, Evelyn plays the drums and the xylophone. And these instruments are placed at the back end of the orchestra and they are placed at the side. Evelyn performs solo. She gives special performance with these percussion instruments. The percussion instruments have come in front of the orchestra. So, after listening to all this, Evelyn's story of, is a very great inspiration to those people who are physically disabled. Not only to them, even to us, Evelyn is a great lesson. We feel that if Evelyn can achieve her dreams, even then, even people with disabilities can, and people like us also can do it. And Evelyn has given a lot of pleasure to her audience by playing such good music. So, I hope you would have learned something from Evelyn's life. Hope you had understood the lesson. Thank you.